as you should. But I want to talk to you about a couple things because you put out a Facebook post this weekend, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show. And the Facebook post was incredible. I just want to get to a couple of lines from it. This is you put this out on the weekend, you and your beautiful family with your Boulay Effect jerseys on, supporting organ donation, which I love. But this is about COVID. It says, I tend to stay away from politics, discussing my views and beliefs on social media platforms because they're just that. Mine. It doesn't mean they are right. It doesn't mean they are wrong. Common sense. Weird. Everyone knows Dave's situation, kidney transplant, immune suppressant drugs, which do just that, kill his immune system so his body doesn't attack his transplanted kidney. He's at far greater risk of catching COVID. He is at greater risk of mortality should he catch it. He isn't just, at a greater risk of catching COVID. He's at a greater risk of mortality or dying. My stepdad is stage 4 cancer. He leaves the house only to go to the oncologist and to have body scans done. If he catches COVID, the outcome will be catastrophic. I have friends with autoimmune diseases who cannot risk the possibility of catching COVID. Friends that are nurses witness the devastation firsthand, watching their parents take their last laboring breath. I'm a business owner who had an extremely profitable business. Lockdown and reopenings made me lose 75% of my clientele. I'm not an essential worker. I have not taken government handouts, my own prerogative. I am currently in the destitute search for work. Heavy. There is a convoy starting in Toronto tomorrow at lunch, and it's making their way across 401 down to Bowmanville in protest of the lockdown and what we are doing to small business. It's in part orchestrated by an anti-masker, anti-vaxxer who has faced multiple fines for keeping their, in protest of the lockdown and what's going on to small keeping their, where did I get that? Keeping their business open and offering discounts to those who don't wear masks. There are other ways to do this. There are other ways to get your points across. Having catered food, live music, droves of people is not the way to do this. We're all sick of this. I don't want to wear a mask. I didn't want to have to get a vaccine. I don't want to wrap my arms around my dad. I want to wrap my arms around my dad because I don't know how much longer I get him for. But please, for the love of God, use common sense. This is a horrible thing for all of us, each and every single one of us. A rally isn't the answer. My business will most likely fold because of this last thing. And the last thing I'm going to do is put my family at risk to gather in large groups to bitch about it. Use your voice, but use it constructively. What brought that on, Sarah?
We have a local business here in Bowmanville, and she was headlining, and she's said it quite a few times how she's an anti-vaxxer, doesn't believe COVID is a thing, believes it's all a government ploy, a big conspiracy theory. And she, along with a few others, planned a convoy coming from Toronto out to Bowmanville, and there's probably about 100 of them, if not a little bit more, outside in the rain the other day. Protesting that small businesses shouldn't be shut down. And I don't think small businesses should be shut down, but I also don't think you should be gathering with 100 to 150 people, no masks, everybody within close contact of each other, children there. It's a no-go for me. Like it's a no-brainer that you don't do something like this.
You know what is interesting about this whole thing for me is I feel for people like you, Sarah, where if you speak out against this, you get put into their canoe. Yes. Right. And that's the frustrating thing. Would
that be the douche canoe?
Yeah. Jesus. And you know what? Sarah, you're on the verge of losing your business. You probably have some valid comments and constructive criticism for the officials and what they've done to you and your family. But by speaking out, all of a sudden you're in the same camp as the Chris Scott. And that's why I wanted to get that jackass on properly in the middle of the week, because I wanted to tell him, I said, you're doing more damage than good. Mm-hmm. You're not helping anybody here, because there is this huge section in the middle that they have reasonable thoughts and concerns about what's happened. And maybe if we end up doing this any longer, maybe they could have an impact on the government, but no one's going to listen to them because they're crazy. So if you do speak out, you're all of a sudden lumped in with them, which makes it even more infuriating. But your post was amazing, because I think what it did was, I think it did highlight the fact that, yes, I don't agree with everything that's happening, but I'm not going to.
There's a better way.
These idiots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I know my husband was a little bit, he wasn't sure about me posting something, but when I get to the point, I'll stew over something for a little bit, and if it bugs me enough, then I'll post it.
Good for you.
And this irked me to no end. And I know that now the Durham police are actually stepping in with what happened the other day. So it's good because they had the road blocked off. So the protesters that were on the road, nothing happened to them because there was children there. But they are stepping in and doing something now, a little bit too late. But I don't want to see businesses get fined, but I want to see this go about the right way. And you know what? Let's do a full-blown lockdown. It's what it should have been done last summer. We know this is what should have happened after Christmas time. I think I don't want to be forward. Like, I'm not saying I agree with the man, but I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.